AskReddit by deleted. Which actor was truly miscast in a particular role? John Wayne as Genghis Khan. I'm Genghis Khan, partner. Gary Oldman as a dwarf in Tiptoes, also starring Peter Dinklage. That was very Kirk Lazarus of him. Vincent Chase as Pablo Escobar. I miss Queens Boulevard Vinny Chase. Mark Wahlberg as Sully in the Uncharted movie. I'm pretty sure that when the movie was first being talked about like 15 years ago, Mark Wahlberg was the one they had in mind to play Nathan Drake. It took so long to get the movie off the ground that they moved him into the Sully role. I think of Marwan Kenzari as Jafar in the new Aladdin. Jafar was a creepy old man and they cast a handsome younger man. He was not at all intimidating. I don't feel they gave him very good lines. Someone early on had made a joke that the poster for the movie looked like a porn parody and I couldn't get that out of my head whenever I saw Jafar. Yes, Jafar's appearance, but most of all, incredibly deep voice, are so iconic and disconcerting. I'm a woman and I swear my speaking voice is lower than Marwan's. I couldn't take him seriously as a villain at all. Tug Speedman as Simple Jack. But this head movie, make my eyes rain. Steven Seagal as an action star. As a mammal. Ben Affleck as Daredevil. The script was bad and that can take a lot of the blame. However, Affleck still moves around like his spine is fused, while trying to portray one of the more nimble characters in Marvel. Highly agree. Charlie Cox as Daredevil, however, is one of the best casting choices ever. Mark Wahlberg in Transformers. The buff guy from Mass is an inventor in Texas. Mark Wahlberg as Sully in Uncharted was also a huge miscast. He didn't even try to do Sully's voice. He was literally just Marky Mark. Almost the entire cast of the Last Airbender movie. Edit, leave me alone with that Dragon Ball movie. I'm not watching it and never will. I agree that it could have made a decent movie if it wasn't for M. Night Shyamalan as director, but IDK. I found the whole bending and the effects were actually not bad, except firebending that looked awful to me, and I also liked the soundtrack. But compared to the Nickelodeon show it's, well, can't be compared. Edit 2. OMG chill, your line ever said the earthbending was a masterpiece. I liked the water and airbending most. Effects were good, that's all I'm saying. I would argue that the greatest miscast was M. Night Shyamalan being the writer, producer, and director. Mickey Rooney as Uniyoshi in Breakfast at Tiffany's. I still believe that if a remake were to occur, have George Takei in the role and have him speak proper English in his deep voice. Totally undoes everything and is funny if you've seen Rooney. Mita Goraitri why you ringa my bell becomes MRS. Go lightly, why must you ring my bell? Denise Richards, the nuclear scientist in that James Bond movie. Deleted. Paul Rudd as the asshole husband in Night at the Museum. If you watch that movie while imagining that Ben Stiller and Paul Rudd's roles were reversed, it would be so much better. Night at the Museum is secretly a Paul Rudd movie. Edit, the husband wasn't an asshole character. I misremembered. His only crime was too many peggers. Ricky Gervais felt odd in that movie too. Vince Vaughn as Norman Bates. But only a complete nutter would remake Psycho in the first place. He surprisingly did a good job in Freaky. Though he did play a teen girl trapped in the body of a serial killer for 90% of the film. But he rocked both roles just as his co-star did. Miles Teller as Mr. Fantastic. They fucked up Dr. Doom really hard too. Kristen Wiig as Cheetah in the Wonder Woman sequel. This whole plotline was stupid. Also the romantic plot between the leads. Also the entire plot of the movie. James Corden in any movie musical. James Corden and literally anything other than Gavin and Amp, Stacy. A 5'6" Tom Cruise as a 6'4" muscled man in the Reacher movies. The movies were okay, but he was so far off the original material. To be honest, I still like the movies, but yeah, not sure why he was cast, but Alan Ritchson is a perfect casting for the TV series. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I still get mad at his performance. Eisenberg was great as whoever he was playing. It's just a shame he wasn't playing Lex Luthor. Sean Connery as a Scotsman playing an Egyptian from Spain opposite Christopher Lambert as a French guy playing a Scotsman in Highlander. At least it had Mr. Krabs playing the Kurgan. They may have been miscast, but they absolutely owned those roles. Shia LaBeouf and Indiana Jones. I don't think they knew what they wanted to do, and he exemplifies that. So what you're saying is, the casting was perfect? Ashton Kutcher in 2.5 Men. Right. Charlie Sheen is an overbearing prick in the show and, I gather, in real life, but he made that show. Kutcher seems a decent sort. I will but cannot watch it with him. Quite a few, but Imago with Jared Leto for Suicide Squad's Joker. After the magnificent performance of Ledger and the stunning performance of Phoenix afterwards, Leto's Joker is like a bad blip. The entire cast of 50 Shades of Grey. In fairness, nothing could have made that film good. Valerian and the City of 1000 Planets. The whole cast. I went into this movie without knowing anything about the Toleds. I legit thought they were brother and sister because they look so much alike. I was fucking shook with the romance angle between them. Can't believe I haven't seen Colin Farrell. He's one of my favorite actors, but Alexander almost ruined his career. Colin Farrell suffered from Brad Pitt syndrome. A terrific actor with the lead man looks of a blockbuster star, but better suited for complex side characters where they can really show off their acting talents. Tom Hanks and Elvis. I feel like Werner Herzog would have killed it. Or Stellan Skarsgård. Hanks was just not right for the role, and it brought the whole movie down. All I could think about when he was on screen, Tom Hanks doing a dodgy accent. I love Tom Hanks, but this part was so wrong for him. Miss Piggy as Benjamina Gunn in Muppet Treasure Island. They gender swapped the character, which is fine, but Miss Piggy is far too glamorous to be believed as a marooned castaway. Just being silly here. Nonsense. There is no movie in history, and never will be, that has better casting than Muppet Treasure Island. Tom Cruise as Jack Reacher 6 feet 5 inches my ass. I thought the casting announcement was an Onion article. Anna Paquin, good actress. Rogue, iconic character. Together, not fantastic. Sorry Anna plus Rogue, you deserved better. X-Men has made some poor casting choices, even with otherwise solid actors. I know Jennifer Lawrence is a polarizing person on Reddit, but I like her. She gave a phenomenal performance in Winter's Bone, loved her in Playbook, etc. But, she wrecked Mystique. And it was particularly tragic. BC Rebecca Romijn and Stamos rocked it so hard. Keanu Reeves as Jonathan Harker in Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's a shame because Francis Ford Coppola came out and said that he tried so hard to have the accent down that he just couldn't be natural. Tom Holland as Nathan Drake in Uncharted. Mark Wahlberg as Sully a very close second. Sofia Coppola in Godfather III. Nothing else comes close when it comes to ruining one of most important, potentially, films in history of cinema. I'm a fan of her directing. That acting in GFII though is really tough to soak in. Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. Search up Nathan Drake and Nathan Fillion Uncharted and there's my reasoning. Edit, scratch that and search up Jensen Ackles. I never saw the movie, and I only played the first 2 games so far, but even I know casting him as Nathan was a terrible idea, even as a younger version of him. Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne in Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Zero chemistry between them. Funnily enough, The Passenger with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence came out the same time, with a plot that would have fit Dane DeHaan's acting, who has played creepy troubled roles in the past with Chronicled Art. Worst of all time Topher Grace as Eddie Brock. Spider-Man 3 would have been perfect if the movie only focused on Sandman and left Venom 4, for which I was the original plan with the movies but unfortunately got cancelled. Keanu Reeves in Bram Stoker's Dracula. I love Keanu, but he was horribly miscast. I don't know why he tried the accent, but I found his performance pretty bland. He always sounded like he was half a second away from calling Mina babe and Dracula dude. Added an extra layer of tension to the film. Sophie Turner in Dark Phoenix. She's just so bad. Cameron Diaz in Gangs of New York. Just dye her hair red and she'll seem Irish. Kristen Stewart Snow White and the Huntsman. I don't think she's necessarily the problem, she just got outshined by Charlize Theron's charisma and presence. Theron makes it difficult to accept the premise that the evil stepmother is threatened by Snow White. CGI as the Ninja Turtles, the 2014 live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. John Wayne as Genghis Khan. Nothing beats that. Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. He was fine, but I think Mads Mikkelsen really developed the character into something less of an oddball and into more of the charismatic villain that the books portray. Mads Mikkelsen really did an amazing job. Such a good Grindelwald. How has no one said George Clooney as Batman? Because when you start to list all the problems with Batman and Robin, casting George Clooney is way towards the bottom. Russell Crowe trying to sing as Javert. This is more on the way that they insisted on filming it like a normal film, and then recording the music live. Actors were on set for 8 hours a day, singing for 8 hours a day, multiple days a week, multiple weeks a month. It's a miracle none of them did serious damage to their vocal cords. I'll never hold anyone's poor performance against them in that environment. Seth Rogen as the Green Lantern. Sorry, my bad, Green Hornet. He's a great guy, but he really only plays one type. And a wealthy playboy it certainly isn't. Edited, because I'm an idiot. His fellow Canadian, Ryan Reynolds, was quite bad as Green Lantern as well. Not because of any personal history of hers, but Amber Heard in Aquaman. Every single word she spoke was a cheesy one-liner that made me physically cringe. Steven Seagal in any movie. That dude needs to go. You might enjoy this Behind the Bastards podcast. They roast Seagal's book. Yes, he wrote a book and it's awful. Enjoy. https://podcast.apple.com/ca/podcast/behind-the-bastards/id 13738126661 I10000529681003. Watchmen, 2009, was extremely well cast all around, but Matthew Good as Ozymandias was a big miss-mo. Jeremy Irons nailed an older version of the character in the HBO series. I read an interview with Matthew Good where he said that when filming started they still had Jude Law's face on all the Ozymandias merchandise. He was a late sub. Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman as two sentient humans allegedly in love. In fairness to them, I don't think anyone could have pulled off that script, and unlike the original trilogy there was no Carrie Fisher prepared to take a red pen to that pile of crap. I don't think Vivien Leigh and So, Laurence Olivier could have made it work. Thanks Rob.